What?
Is that what was known as
I'm
the
off camera.
clap?
You can't see it.
Okay.
I'll just use the audio from this one for you clapping. So.
Is that a normal thing? The clap?
Yeah. So
it's
beginning of.
It's not nothing you catch or anything then.
No, it's going to get edit.
So you can sync up audio.
All right, are we ready? Phones are silenced.
No, that's the whole point. We're all in the moment.
All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, go on.
You just can't pound because that.
I know that's.
All right.
Your face.
Oh God! Wait.
Don't look at me. Get some chilled water, which is an H factor. Okay.
All right, welcome back to Chatting Chronicles. This is our second episode. Today we have an amazing episode, Ryan. We're going to talk about sports and all the championships, leadership, nepotism, and we are not even going to talk about the Trump-Biden debate. Let's get it started.
Two best friends just talking, life lessons they be stalking, from the questions of the day to the dreams that lead the way. Friends chatting, here we go. Take it fast and take it slow. Stories old and stories new, just me and you.
And we're back. This is the second episode, and Ryan is to my right here. I'm Dan, and in the man and behind the scenes is college boy Trevor.
Hello.
Hello, Trevor. Welcome.
Hi,
All right.
Trevor.
Ryan, how has your week been since our last episode?
That's pretty good. Did some things and earned some money.
Hey, that's always a good thing. Earning money is always good. You know what? We got to start off our episode the right way, and I think we're going to start with your choice of beer tonight. I have a special choice for later on that kind of goes with our theme of sports, but we're going to go with your. What did you bring us today?
I actually have a presentation for you, Dan.
Oh, no, we got a presentation going on.
Where is it?
So, if you don't know anything, either do we. So what's your presentation?
I have a Coca-Cola for you, Dan.
Oh, yeah?
A Michigan National Championship.
Oh, look
Coca-Cola
at that.
edition.
So I can't even drink that.
Nope.
For those at home, it's hard to see, but it is the 2023 Michigan National Championship Coca-Cola can. This is awesome. I'm going to put this on my mantle.
Where'd you get that from?
Some random party store. I just was having to get a Monster.
And they had this? That is
Yes.
amazing. That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But we can't drink this. We got
No.
this is a prize thing. I guess we're going
Like
to
20
put that,
years from now, when all that's caramelized in there,
Here.
I mean, you just can't.
I'm
drink
going
it.
to sell it for
Right.
$10.
Because we'll already have about 20 championships by then.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
That was an amazing season this last year with all the cheating scandals and everything. Harbaugh being suspended for pretty much half of the season.
It was, man. Wow.
Sherman Moore coming in and defeating Ohio State for the third straight year, for the third straight Big Ten championship game, which then Harbaugh came back for, win the Big Ten, win against Alabama.
That was a big feat alone.
And then go to the championship game against Washington, who we get to play again this year. But we are getting way ahead of ourselves here, Ryan.
It's awesome.
This is awesome. This is awesome. So what drink do you have for us tonight?
I have the real classy, natural light Natty Daddy right here.
Whoa, there we go. Old school drink. The Natty. Thank you. The Natty Daddy. Wow, it's a big one. That's a big one. And then again, College Boy Trevor, you had Dr. Pepper last week,
Yes.
and we talked about it, and then we threw it up on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on our podcast, please go over to youtube.com/@chattingchronicles. Oh, that sounded delicious. Subscribe to us, but on there we take all of our main points that we talk about during the podcast, and we break them onto shorts, and your choice of drink has like 2.6 thousand views right now, has like 20 different comments
Basically.
talking about the love for Dr. Pepper, but one person didn't like it, and I think you're drinking the thing that he said that he does like. So what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am drinking a vanilla Coke.
Oh, I think he said cherry Coke, but a vanilla Coke is good
I
too.
like cherry Coke. I like cherry Dr. Pepper as well.
Cherry Dr. Pepper is good too.
Vanilla Coke.
Have you ever had a vanilla Coke, Ryan?
Probably when it first came out, but I didn't think I like it very much.
See, I love
It's unusual.
cherry vanilla Coke. I love my cherry Cokes, but the cherry vanilla Coke too.
I think I had one of those on accident too, because I thought I was getting cherry
Cherry
Coke.
Coke.
Yeah,
And yet,
I mean it wasn't too bad.
no, but that's usually what, like, if I go to the movie theater, I'm putting my cherry and my vanilla in. I'll even do like a Dr. Pepper or root beer with it. I have even done the Mountain Dew, you know, those machines that you can pick whatever flavor, crazy flavors you want. So I've been always a cherry vanilla fan. But thank you for this Natty Daddy. This is, I don't think I can remember the last time I had a Natty Daddy.
It's a classic.
All right, are we ready to talk a little bit more about last time? We had amazing topics. We talked about 4th of July's hot dog, which is coming up this week out of this time of recording. Controversy over that. And I thought about, that's a sport. That is a sport. So
It is a sport.
let's take the sports theme and go into it. You've been an athlete in your younger days. I've been an athlete in my younger days. Even Trevor was an athlete in his way younger days. Trevor loves sports, don't you?
No, I do
No.
not.
Trevor is not a big sports fan, unlike my other son Aiden, who lives and loves sports. So I want to start us tonight with the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs and the finals that just finished this past weekend. We had the Florida Panthers versus the
Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers. And you posted on Facebook Game 7. For those who are not know, Florida was up 3-0 in the series.
It's amazing. It looked like a lock.
And then it came down to a Game 7 with 2 minutes left in the game or less. It was a 2-1 game. Very exciting game. I got to catch the end of it. But you posted that you wanted Edmonton to win. Why did you want Edmonton to win?
So it's because it's Canada, you know. They're like the kings of hockey per se. They haven't won a cup or all of Canada hasn't won a cup in how long?
30 years. It's been
know.
30 years. Can you believe that? 30 years.
30 years. So it's like
We thought the Red Wings, Dead Wings was a long period of time,
Yeah,
but
that's
30 years. That
they're like home natural sport, and they're not even for 30 years.
Well, yeah, but it also gets pretty warm sometimes, so you can't do it then.
well, in Canada,
Yeah.
yeah, there are some warm spots in Canada. I wanted Florida to win because of the streak. I wanted the streak to continue.
Keep going, right? Yeah.
Blame Canada, not let
That's
them
it,
win the
right.
Stanley Cup for the rest of my life. I'll be happy.
There you go.
Not that I'm a big Florida fan at all, but I did appreciate some of their players and so forth. Now, Florida has a unique, what you may call it, trademark, if you want to say.
Is it the Panther?
Well, they have the Panther as their mascot, but but their fans will throw things out on the ice at times. Do you know what that is? And do you know the story behind it?
Definitely not an octopus.
It's not an octopus.
That is our thing.
That is the Detroit Red Wings thing, which we can talk about in a second because I want to go down memory lane with you a little bit too. But do you know what they're throwing out there?
I didn't really catch a game, to be honest, so I don't.
And I think, and maybe Trevor needs to fact check me on this. I want to say when Florida Panthers became an expansion team, and during one of their, I don't know, trainings or practices or one of their games, there was a rat running around in the locker room, and one of their players got it with a hockey stick. The fans caught on, and so they'll throw. I'm hoping they're not like Red Wing fans throwing actual octopuses.
Yeah, we throw real ones.
We throw real octopuses out there, but they throw rats onto the ice. So my question is, would you rather have, if you were a hockey player, would you rather have an octopus being thrown at you that is a live or dead, but was a real octopus, slimy, smelly thing, or potentially a fake rat or a real dead rat?
I'd have to go with the octopus just because I'm just partial.
Just partial because of the Red Wings on there. What's his name?
Imagine, though, the guys that sneak that into...
Have you seen some of those videos?
Yeah.
Where they tape it around their bodies and stuff. So
It's like a bag, and then it's, yeah.
And then they have it on them for hours.
And it's got fluids
now
all in there.
Let's be clear. We are not necessarily condoning anybody taking octopuses to Little Caesar Arena.
Right,
it is against the rules. It is against. You will be escorted out, I believe.
I think there's a ban too for a bit.
I think there is. The NHL does not like it at all. If you remember, at what's his name, Al
Sabaka.
Yeah, and he used to swing the octopuses around his head and stuff. He got in trouble because octopus guts were flying everywhere.
Yeah, it was a goalie who complained about that or something.
Yeah, because you might trip over that. So, Trevor, have you fact-checked me yet on that, on the story of the dead rats?
Yeah. So you're pretty much on base with it. They found one in the locker room, and then one of the players slapped the rat with a stick, sent it flying into the wall. But then, later that game, the same player who hit it with the stick scored 2 goals and won the game. And following the victory, the goaltender told reporters that player had recorded a rat trick.
Ah,
nice.
So that goaltender probably was John Van Beesbrook.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good
So
call.
I do remember John Van Beesbrook.
I remember when he used to play for the Rangers.
Right? Yeah.
Good old. He was a Michigan boy too, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So for those fans that don't know what the rat trick is, it's a play off of hat trick, which is, you want to explain what a hat trick is?
3 goals by the same player.
3 goals, which is a little bit different than a Gordie Howe hat trick.
What is that? That's a goal, a fight, and an assist?
I believe so. I believe it was the goal, the assist, and then winning a fight or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Back when hockey was interesting and exciting
and brutal.
But
they were real men.
Well, I have a question for both of you.
Yes.
Or kind of, not a question, but to point out, the Florida Panthers have a second mascot as well.
Besides the rat or a panther?
Nope. It is a rat mascot.
A rat mascot?
Named Victor E. Rat. It was introduced in 2014.
That's funny. Victor E. Get it?
I just caught that. Nice.
I like that. So it's a rat?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So really, Detroit's, I mean, we have the octopus, but we don't have a mask.
Yeah, it's Al the octopus.
Al the octopus. That was pretty much that, which goes into the whole Red Wings history. Let's jump ship because Florida's way far away. Detroit Red Wings. We're going to talk about where they're at right now. But do you remember? I know you remember. 1997, we win the Stanley Cup.
Graduation year.
Our graduation year. The day after we graduated high school, they won the Stanley Cup. A week after they won the Stanley Cup, I think it's a week, there was the accident of all time.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Konstantinov being the one that got hurt the most.
And Sergei Monotsakanov, the trainer.
And Konstantinov, to this day, does not walk because of this accident. And Konstantinov was part of the Russian Five, which is one of the greatest lines of hockey of any time, of all time. Konstantinov was in his prime, one of the best up-and-coming, greatest players, I think, that we probably would have never, or we will never get to see full potential of.
Right.
So the Red Wings, being down and out, had a mission to win in 1998. And they win it. You and I were together. Do you remember that? That we were together when we
Yeah,
won.
what were we doing?
I remember. Well, I remember what we did after they won the Stanley Cup.
So, wasn't there like a party or something that we went to?
No, that was the year before. We were at Luke Horton's graduation party in 97.
That's right.
But 98, we were at your house, and we went driving around the Westland area.
That's right. Everyone's honking horns.
Everybody's
just
honking
nuts.
horns. Everybody was slapping hands, high-fiving.
From moving cars, even.
Yeah, it didn't matter what you believed in, who you were, what affiliation of religion or other political parties. Everybody was celebrating. And it was a different celebration than I think it was in the year 97, which was the first time we won the Stanley Cup in, 42 years, I think it was?
Right.
1995, we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. We got swept by the New Jersey Devils.
Was it Devils?
Oh, yeah.
I seem to think it was Devils?
Devils.
I thought it was Philadelphia.
No, we beat Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But if you remember the Devils, I don't remember the players. I just remember
they had Martin Brodeur.
Yeah, their
as the
defense.
goalie.
Their defense was just, they trapped us left and right, and I just think because of the every other day games, we just couldn't counter back. They just kept coming at us. So they destroyed us. I guarantee you, they destroyed us. But 97 we win. I think 98 was more special. Do you agree with that or not?
I think it was only because of the fact that, they had a mission. They won it for,
Konstantinov and
yeah, they won it for those guys, and it felt. I know what you mean. It felt
different. It felt great. I mean, I loved the 97 because it was like the year I graduated, and great year we graduated and so forth. And then that's even like the 02 season. My brother Tommy, that was when he graduated. That's the year I graduated college and got married, and so it was like that was.
Yeah, we've had some good.
That was a special thing, and then 08 and so forth. But I think 98 was just a little bit different and an amazing year to watch those guys play for somebody and for something. So that comes to nowadays, Stevie Yzerman, who was our captain back then in 1998, who is now leading as the general manager.
The Yzer plan.
The Yzer plan. Do you believe in the Yzer plan? Do you believe in...
I think the Yzer plan's taking just a little longer than we all thought, though.
It's taking a lot longer than it did in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, right?
Tampa Bay Yzer plan worked like within 4 years.
What's that plan?
So Steve Yzerman is an amazing hockey player. One of my favorite hockey players of all time. He only played for Detroit. He then went into administration.
The youngest captain for Detroit.
So he's the one that kind of says, okay, I'm going to hire this person. I'm going to draft that person, and gives the coach the players that they have to use. So his plan is like a mixture of veterans and young players, and trying to find that chemistry. And it's just, people thought when Yzerman came back to Detroit, back to his home, that he was going to bring us a championship. And it just has not happened.
Yeah, it's like
have we even made the playoffs since he's been back? I don't even think we have.
No.
I have to be honest. I have kind of stopped watching some of Red Wings hockey. I watch it here and there. Aiden watches it all the time still. But I don't want to be a bandwagon fan, but I'm a little bit off the wagon right now.
Well, I mean, no, listen. If you were younger, you see, in my opinion, a bandwagon fan is somebody who like has friends and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan." No, I'm sorry.
All of those Kansas Chief fans because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, all of a sudden, boom! It's like 1.5 million. No. What it is so we're not bandwagon fans, even if we decide to cheer for them 5 years from now, because we were there right from the beginning.
We were that was a.
What'd you do?
I don't know, man. That was a little loud. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I just it hurts my heart though to see them struggle.
Well, that's why, I mean, he's a legend, so you want him to succeed.
Yeah.
Trammell, when he was a manager for the Tigers, it's like, that wasn't very smart, because you're a legend in Detroit.
Right. Yeah.
And you didn't do nothing.
Juan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
That's another case in
Michigan basketball. I mean, come on.
You wanted him to succeed so much, especially because Harbaugh started turning things around. You wanted Howard to continue Beeline's legacy. It's tough. It's tough going back and coaching for where you went to, which I have a little bit of experience of that now, and we'll talk about my coaching experience in a little bit. But I think, you presented to me the Michigan Coke tonight, and it took so long from our last national championship, 1997. All right, again, a great year.
Right.
From then to now, a lot of hurt in those Rich Rod eras. And as much as I'm a Brady Hoke fan, a lot of hurt during those years.
Yes, but I would be actually happy if Hoke would have been even during the Rodriguez years. I really wish that man had never ever set foot.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Oh, amen on that.
That man needs to go.
Amen on that. I 100% believe that too. I think
we handed him a keys to a Cadillac and he burned it.
I agree. And we don't need to go into that. Could be another podcast on its own. Did Lloyd Carr leave the cupboards empty, as some people say? You know where I stand with Lloyd Carr. I'm a huge Lloyd Carr fan. My dad played for Lloyd Carr. He played against Lloyd Carr in high school too. But so Lloyd Carr is a role model idol, if you want to say, of coaching this for me. But that's another long time. I do want to get to some other current things going on in the sports world, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We're not going to talk about, I wanted to make a joke about golf and with the Trump and Biden
I'll carry your own bag if it's not.
Debate, but we're not going there. We are going to a different controversial topic. The WNBA. And will this hype last of these rookie? Everybody's uplifting all these rookies, especially
the rookie phenoms.
Yeah, especially right. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So really quick,
I have to say that I side on Caitlin Clark.
Okay,
I don't know why.
That was going to be my question.
The bougie Barbie. I mean, she can hold her own. What did she say? I'm a dog. You can't teach that.
That I did see that. Now, have you caught any of the WNBA games because of this hype?
A little bit. So I watched they played them 3 times in the Fever played Chicago like 3 times in like 2 weeks or something like that.
And they're what? Caitlin's 2 for 1, or is Angel 2 for 1?
2 for 1 for Caitlin.
2 for 1 for Caitlin. I catch it here and there. I more on Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts and stuff. What's what's going on. And I was going to ask you if you are a Caitlin or Angel fan, and Trevor might have to fact check some of this stuff out for me, because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sound like Angel is a bad player, because I think she's an okay player.
Right.
Even at LSU, I never thought she was the best player at LSU. Last year, I had her like third best on the team. I can't remember.
Wow, on the team.
On the team. Maybe second best, because what's her name? Haley Van Leet, or what is that her name? That just now transferred again.
Well, yeah, she's been like with 4 teams or something each year.
I think she got the raw deal in that game against Purdue.
Well, she had to guard Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody else wanted to guard Caitlin Clark, and she kind of got thrown into that. And I think there's some bad blood because of that, and that's why she leave. That's my own personal opinion. But I want to say Angel's not a great player. I think she's a good player. She's above average for the WNBA. Most definitely. I don't believe in her hype, though. I believe in Caitlin's hype. And I think there's certain things Caitlin needs to learn still.
Yeah, for
as,
sure.
As any rookie of any professional sports, I think, she's getting thrown to the wolves as herself. And that could mean jealousy from other players, her own teammates, the WNBA as a whole. I kind of look at it as, you remember when Brock Lesnar became a martial art UFC fighter?
Yeah, right.
And Brock Lesnar was already a professional wrestler. He already kind of made the practice squad and then got cut from Minnesota Vikings. He was a national champion wrestler. And I love Brock Lesnar. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, fighters of all time. I felt that they pushed him way too hard, way too fast. I mean, his very first match is against Frank Mir in a title fight. And I think they did that because of his name and he could sell.
Well, and the fact that the guy is a Sherman tank.
Rock.
Just, looking at him.
Yeah,
I mean, so of course they're going to be like, well, let's throw our beast at him.
Yeah. But I think Brock was not ready for that fight.
No.
And he made mistakes, and he lost that fight because he made mistakes. And I knew right then and there, I said it that night, if they ever get a rematch, Brock will destroy him. And what did Brock do in the rematch? Destroyed him. I think Caitlin, they're throwing him, and I think they do this a lot for rookies that are big names, college players. They want to throw them out there and be big name pro players.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sink or swim.
Yeah, and I think they do them dirty. Even Angel, I'll give Angel credit. I think they do her dirty too by trying to put her up against Caitlin. One, they play 2 different positions.
Yeah, one's a forward, one's a guard.
Yeah, they have 2 different skill sets, and Angel is a dog. And I say that in the kindest way, and not to be not to be mean to her. She is a hard-going player. She is aggressive. Now, is she dirty? That foul against Caitlin was dirty.
There's been a few of those that are on record.
Do not tell me. I don't care. You were not going for a ball. That was not a basketball move for a ball. That was a foul. Claim it, earn it. My question though, because we know Caitlin, an Angel, she has now, I don't know how many games in a row with double doubles. Like amazing. She's doing a great job. Do you think her double doubles are legit?
I'm going to actually go with yes, just because, I mean, she's going up against the Mercury with that anti-American, I mean, like, so I think she's definitely improved tenfold over her first game or so, because, you have to get into a rhythm. And, I mean, what she did in that, when I did see her against the Fever, I mean, she was a dog herself title. I mean, she earned that title herself.
Yep. Yes.
And keep in mind, this is somebody who's like a Caitlin, like that's like the purse.
Yeah. Only thing I didn't like about Caitlin is that she went to Purdue.
I know, right? Wait.
Or
no, Hawkeye.
Iowa.
She's a
I'm sorry,
Hawkeye.
Iowa. I'm thinking the outside. You are right.
I mean, I'd be okay
See.
with Purdue. I mean, I even like the trains. I mean, they're the trains.
The Boilermakers. Here, and the reason I brought that up is her double is legit. Is because there was the topic or people are talking, and I don't watch her a lot. I do watch Caitlin's games here and there, but the few times I have watched Angel or watch her recaps or her of the games like on ESPN, her dribbling is tremendous, horrible. I have fifth and sixth graders that can dribble better than her, but her layups, she would be cut off of my team with her layups, and then half of her rebounds are her own missed shots. She reminds me of one of our former players.
We can't name the name, but I know exactly. You'd stand under the basket.
Stand under the basket.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that like 30 rebounds a game. So that, and so I can see where people are saying her doubles are not legit because of those certain things. But at the same time, office rebounds are part of the game, and that's okay. I think that's okay. So we have these teams, these WNBA teams. To me, the greatest WNBA team ever needs to come back. The Detroit Shock.
The Detroit Shock. The multi-winning,
coached by Bill Lambier himself.
the dirty man himself.
Do you think that because there is talk now of the Detroit Shock returning? Do you see
piqued
that?
a lot of interest? Yeah, Caitlin has sparked a whole lot of interest. And now not having a team in Detroit, it's like we need a team in Detroit.
I think so. I would. When the Detroit Shock was here, I was a fan of it. I would catch it here and there.
Right, Cheryl Swoops.
I think it would help the whole portfolio of Detroit sports teams again, and I think that we could win another championship. Bring 100%. Bill Lambier back.
No,
you don't want Bill Lambier.
So Bill Lambier, Trevor fact checked his downfall. He did something with his dad's Lambier packaging, like closed. Like he's got a stain on him. Like
I see that. I didn't know that.
There was Lambier packaging, and he, it was his dad's company, and he shut the doors, left hundreds of employees just standing there.
All right, forget him. Forget him.
So yeah, I mean. We need a different coach, but yes,
I got a coach that I know.
Why not bring back Cheryl Swoops?
Cheryl Swoops, all right, yes. Maybe some other former Piston. Isaiah Thompson isn't doing anything lately.
I mean, and Zeke was my guy.
Zeke was your guy. But I thought you were more of a Joe Dumars.
No. Zeke was my guy.
No, Joe Dumars was your sister's guy.
Yeah, she was all about Joe Dumars, number 4.
Yep. So talking about NBA, let's kind of move into the NBA world now. They just had their NBA championship. The Boston Celtics won it for. Hey, Trevor, look this up. Is it the 17 championship at least? I think it might be even more. You good on your drink?
Yeah, I'm getting a little low.
You getting a little low? You want to go to our second drink of the night?
Absolutely.
All right. So, as Trevor checks up how many Boston Celtic titles that we won, my choice for drinks tonight is from the state of Wisconsin. Probably my favorite brewery.
Is it Spotted Cow?
Is not Spotted Cow. Spotted Cow is from New Glarus. That's on the other side of the state where I go. This is from Sheboygan. It's called Three Sheeps Brewery. There's 3 brothers that started. It's a cool place. You'll have to come visit with me sometime there.
I'm up for a road trip.
They have amazing varieties of beers. They have even some slushy beers.
A slushy beer.
It's not that bad.
I'm game on for that.
As long as you drink it fast enough and it doesn't get warm. They have some whatchamacallit. I can't even think of the word right now, but some of their beers that are drafted like in liquor bottles or liquor barrels,
like the casks.
Yeah, kind of they just soak in there in the
Like
bourbon,
the barrels,
the bourbon
barrels. Yeah, okay.
and then they have some like not bourbon wine, but some certain other drinks too. But tonight's beer that I chose, because we're talking about sports, is a good one.
What do we got?
Now, the colors you're not going to like.
I already see the colors, Dan.
Because they are from Wisconsin.
That's what I'm saying. And it's
Green Bay's not that far away.
Old cheeseheads, all right.
Green Bay's not that far away. But this is called the armchair quarterback.
The armchair quarterback,
So
all right.
this is a copper lager.
Did you say a copper lager?
Yeah. It's, like a red lager and stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's good to, watch football with. I have drank this many times while watching the Michigan-Ohio State game.
Really? That's some special beer then.
Yep. And I'll just say the last 3 years,
it's been lucky.
It's been lucky. All right, Trevor, did you find out how many?
How many? Repeat the question.
How many championships has Boston Celtics won? NBA championship has Boston Celtics won?
18.
18. So I said 16, I think. So not too far off. Now, there are some Coach Mazzulla. Do you know Coach Mazzulla?
I do not.
So Coach Mazzulla is the Boston's coach. He's becoming one of my favorite coaches of all time.
That's big shoes to fill.
That is big shoes. And this is why. Let me play this short clip of one of his press conferences that tells you why I love him so much.
Did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one. Thank you.
And for those people that are listening online, or they may might not be able to see that, look up the royal family, meeting the royal family, Coach Mazzulla's interview. Just his demeanor. Now, first off, I like him because he's a Christian. To me, that's a huge plus right there. If he was a Pistons coach, I would be even
better.
Even better. But
you don't want him to get bounced out the door, though.
No. I am loving this guy.
Right.
I'm loving his attitude towards the game. I'm loving his routine, his warm up routine. How do you like that?
It's actually growing on me.
Don't look at the colors.
No, that's why I need to look at this as I'm tasting it.
It's not a bad beer. It goes down nice.
I love the actual.
I have a few other Three Sheeps beer for us to try in the future.
For later.
For future episodes.
So I didn't get a chance to go to this other party store because this other party store I was going to actually grab some really good stuff. So that's why we settled on Natty Daddy.
Hey, Natty Daddy's nothing wrong with Natty Daddy. Yeah.
It's all right.
We drank it before it was cool.
We did.
Just like the PBRs, the hipster beer now, that we love that. So Coach Mazzulla, this is part of his warm-up routine. Like when his team is warming up, he's out on the floor shooting, boxing out, playing defense on guys. He's just all out there. And
was he a player himself?
He was a player for himself. Trevor, look up where he went. He went to not Cincinnati. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think about where he went. Did he go to West Virginia? Where did he go?
West Virginia University.
He went to West Virginia.
Yes.
You beat me.
West Virginia, where Beeline used to be at. But yeah, he did play. I don't think he played in the pros but he was a college coach. So he was a college coach, and Boston was asking him to come over a couple years ago. And he promised his players that he would be there for that season. And then Boston came and said, hey, we want you to be our coach, or assistant coach at the time. And he said, no, I promised my kids that I was going to be there. So he finished that year, and then they offered him again.
That's impressive,
which is, he almost, a lot of times you're blowing your chance.
You're
You've
done.
got one chance to get into the NBA, and that might have been it. But he believed that.
So where did he go again?
West Virginia.
And they weren't like Final Four people or anything like.
I think he was an okay player, if I remember right.
No. Oh, that's where he played.
That's where he played.
No. Where did he coach?
Oh,
then?
where did he coach? It was a small school. Trevor can fact check that.
That's what I mean. So it's like,
it was
you're gonna pass on
his morals is more important than winning or losing or making things. So right now he is my favorite coach, becoming one of my favorite coaches on that. And as you know, I've been a coach for many years.
right.
Many years throughout my life, I've been a coach. I am still a coach. Just recently became the head JV basketball coach / assistant varsity coach at our old high school.
Alma mater, right?
So, which is unique in itself because I was a wrestler all my life.
During basketball season.
During basketball season, I was a wrestler. And I've coached wrestling for 4 years. I have at my one school where I was a wrestling head coach. I am the winningest coach ever for that school. The school is now closed, but I was the winningest coach ever for that school. I was an assistant coach out in California for many years to some great wrestlers as well. I coached grade school wrestling, when my dad was a coach too. I love wrestling. I think it's a great sport, one of the best sports out there. But
It is.
as my life transformed and changed differently, and I became a teacher and was asked to do stuff, I became more of a basketball coach than a wrestling coach. If you think about my time of coaching, I coached grade school girls basketball.
I remember that.
For a couple years. I've coached grade school boys basketball coaching. I've coached a girls high school team, which from that school, the only conference championship ever for this school. The school is now closed too, but my team was the only time we've ever won a conference championship for any sport. I had 7 girls on that team, 1 senior, 1 junior, 5 sophomores.
Nice.
We average fouling out at least 2 players a game. That's why I needed 7 girls. One of my girls on my team, she did not want to play. I talked her into sitting on the bench to begin with. I'm like, just sit on the bench in case somebody fouls out, and I just need to put you in. You won't play otherwise, unless you want to, and we'll work you in. By the end of the year, she wanted to play more and stuff, and even scored some. But I had an amazing senior. My senior, she was probably one of the best players in Michigan that year. But coming from a small school, she didn't get much look at. My sophomores were amazing. There was only 2 games that I felt like we were outplayed and outmatched. Our very first game and our very last game. Every other game, we lost a couple games.
Did you play against perhaps our alma mater?
We did not. We did not.
Okay.
No. What's funny is one of the teams that was in our conference does now plays at times against our alma mater.
Gotcha.
But all of our conference was small schools, but every team was like an hour away from our school, and every time we had an away game, while we were at that game, and the boys would play, and girls would play first, and the boys would play second. Every time that 2-hour span, it would start snowing, and we would have like a 3-hour drive home.
It turns into
Yeah. So you're talking about like a Tuesday night game. We weren't getting back to school to about midnight to 1 a.m. in the morning, and then parents aren't showing up because they're sleeping, and
crap.
and then I'm
They're not even looking for their kid.
Yeah, they're not even looking for their kid. But so I've coached a lot, and my goal is always to get you into some coaching.
Dude, we need to get in. Like, we'd be the best.
Well,
Just saying, we'd be the best.
If you want to come, you can come help me out with my JV team. I'm looking at this year. Our team, our varsity team, is going to be young and short, and we got a lot of guards. But my goal, my enjoyment, my excitement is my JV team are going to be guys that potentially could be playing on our varsity team, but there's just not enough spots.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we got some sophomores that are amazing. We have some juniors that are amazing players. They're just short, and they lack some of those fundamental skills that my job is going to be coming into.
Question though, are at such a young age, do they hit the weight room?
That is a great question. That is my number one thing for them, and that is our number one thing for all of our players is to get in the weight room. So this week is our dead week. By law, we have to have a week that we don't do anything, no contacts allowed at all. As soon as this week is done, besides my time, I'm going to have an hour twice a week that they're coming into the gym to lift weights. And that's all we're doing is lifting weights twice a week. Now we want them doing things on their own.
Right.
But that's
Road work.
Our goal is get into our weight room at least twice a week, 1 hour, 2 hours a week, 1 hour each time, plus twice a week, hour and a half in the gym, working on skills, working on fundamentals. I have so many. I can't. I'm so excited. And I could talk a lot about that. Maybe that's another podcast episode.
Yeah, it's another podcast because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm out at 2:00 every day, Monday through Friday. So
all right, I need a stats person too. Can you watch?
I don't know how to do stats.
I'll have to teach you that. We have we have a huddle program. So especially for the varsity,
Isn't
not
that
necessarily
on football.
Football uses it too. But basketball, we watch it. We have it. We tape all of our games. We go in there. We track. All right,
So
this
like
is
chalk talk.
this is the play we're running. This is who assists, scores, steals, turnovers, and so forth. But getting back to the NBA, Coach Mazzulla, if you don't know him, look him up. He's amazing. Pistons, not amazing.
No.
Pistons are not amazing. They for the last 5 years, they have been one of the worst teams in the NBA. They only had the number one pick once.
That's amazing.
Which is weird. That ticks me off.
Yes.
It ticks me off that we're bad, but it ticks me off that we are the worst team in the NBA, and we only got one number one pick in the last. We got the number 5. We were the worst team last year. We got the number 5 pick. We picked this kid.
Oh yeah, I know that. Like that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
shouldn't have even been considered.
So I'm worried about.
We could have traded that damn pick away and maybe get some experience.
You know. Not that because I wanted this guy, because I don't think he's a good player, but because of who his dad is. And the fact that his dad said he will play for whatever team his son's going to, I almost wanted them to pick Bronny James. I don't think he's good. He's obviously not as good as his dad.
The kid barely played in college. The kid is. I'm against Bronny James just because I'm also who is that guy who Amani Bates.
Oh, Monty Bates.
Dude, against Amani
That's
Bates.
his boy. That's at his school,
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Amani Bates.
Eastern
I mean,
Michigan,
so
man.
when they had the big Amani Bates and Bronny James. Sorry, dude. Sorry, James. You know,
Yeah. Amani Bates kind of messed himself up.
he sure did.
But Bronny James, I almost wanted them to pick Bronny James so that we could have LeBron James. And I'm not even a big LeBron James fan. I am not.
So is that what was said? Whatever his.
That is what I believe LeBron mentioned at one point in time. Whatever team picks Bronny, he was going to play at. Now, obviously, he was already at Lakers, so it kind of. And I get where the Lakers pick him. There was like 3 more picks left in the draft. Why not?
So I recently read though that Bronny's agent said that there was a laundry list of teams that if they picked him, he was going to sign immediately for the Australian League.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yes, I need to figure out where that was, but yes, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, yes, okay, it's cool for a father-son duo.
Yeah. First
100%.
ever
First ever
on the same
yes.
team.
But it's not worthy. If that kid was,
So you do not like the nepotism that's in the sports world.
I don't like nepotism, period. It goes on everywhere. It goes
It
on
does.
everywhere.
It does. But at some point, I don't think it is as bad as other times. I think there are times because maybe if you look at nepotism more broadly, of not just their like my son, this is my son, so I'm here, so they must be here. But I look at Trevor. I look at his position now with the Eastern Michigan football team. How did you get that job, Trevor?
Basically grandpa and knowing people that were playing for the team.
Yes, but Trevor, because the fact that I'm, outside of the picture, you're deserving of it. 100%.
I believe you.
However, there's there's guys even at my work that are getting HVAC positions. I'm gonna say that, and
well,
I know more than that.
I think there's a difference. Like for me, like knowing people, even if not blood related or anything like knowing people got me in the door.
Yeah.
Networking is
but
key. Yes.
I would like to say that I've by now proven myself that if I didn't have that and they somehow still stumbled upon me, I still would be making as much of a difference as I am now.
Well, even when you were younger, that was always your interest, and you're always going to hone your skill. So, you are 110% deserving of this.
I may be 100% biased, but I see the quality of the work that he does.
Absolutely.
And I see and I hope that Trevor believes and has learned his work ethic from his mom and myself of putting ourselves
strong, yes.
But goes back to my dad's work ethic and my mom's work ethic and
right.
and so forth. But I think, networking and being in the right place at the right time or knowing the right person isn't always a bad thing. Now, I do think nepotism can 100% be a horrible thing. And I've been part of organizations where nepotism
I know.
has ruled
the
atmosphere and the culture.
And it's led for a horrible situation.
For
the outsiders.
From the outs and even the insiders that are not part of the family. And I'm putting air quotes on for the people listening.
Right.
For part of the family. Nepotism can destroy a organization, business, team.
Even a shift. Even a shift. So even if this nepotistic person, I don't know it'll destroy a shift.
Now,
because then that person who doesn't know his face from his arm will destroy it.
But I look at, we just talked about my coaching in my new position with our high school that I was at. Aiden's part of the basketball team, which is part of, I coached Aiden for 4 years here at our grade school. And I took last year off to be a dad. The opportunity opened up for a coaching position for me. And and I kind of I missed it. But at the same time, I'm more of the JV coach. Aiden, even as a freshman, until he broke his leg, was playing both JV and varsity. He has a potential of being a good player. We just got to get some muscle on him. But our new head coach, our new varsity coach, in our little bit of time frame that we have been together, and we've gone to team camp. We went to Wayne State University team camp for 2 days, and we had 4 games. Our new varsity coach has put Aiden in a position to be one of the key leaders of the team, being one of the main point guards, which is his position. He's a point guard / shooting guard. He's a lefty, amazing skills of dribbling. I always say his best skill set for basketball is his vision, seeing the court, knowing the plays, knowing where people are. He even last year, his former head coach, which I love dearly, and I got to spend some time with him today, called him as a coach as himself, especially after he broke his leg. Aiden comes in with scouting reports, defensive and offensive plays, saying, hey, why don't we try this? But I'm also afraid of that nepotism now that I'm on that. And I know, and I shouldn't feel that. And even the head coach said there's he even said to my wife and I, Aiden is not in the position that he wants him in just because I'm on the bench next to the head coach.
Right, yeah, there's a difference. There's 100% difference. I'm your best friend, but, just looking at your kid, Aiden is a beast. He's a beast.
He was helping me coach as a 3rd grader, coming up with winning plays for me that I could implement to my team. And it wasn't like a simple thing. He's already, say this, he's a better coach right now than I am. He knows the game better than I do. He knows the X's and O's better than I do. He knows the stats better than I do. He watches film better than I do. When we sit down, we'll sit down together, and he'll pinpoint things out for me to help me to learn so I learn from him more than anything. And he loves that statistic side of the game as much as he loves playing the game. Which it goes, I guess that being a good coach is what it means. And I think being a good coach or being a good player means being a leader. And I truly believe that anybody can be a leader and everybody should be a leader. And so as we finish this episode of sports, we've gone all over the place, and I love it, man. We traveled everywhere. And we've had some good coaches in Detroit, and we have some bad coaches in Detroit. Let me tell you my 3 characteristics of being a good leader, which means being a good coach.
Right.
1, being a visionary. Having the vision, having that knowledge, knowing where you want to go on that. Integrity. Being honest. And that's being honest with yourself, too. Being able to know that you don't, like I just said, Aiden is a better coach than I. I will, even as a grade school coach, I would go to Aiden, what do you think? What do you want to run? Do you think this would work? We were just talking today, as we were driving home from a graduation party, we were talking about our defense that we're running for next year. How are we going to improve on it? And then also being empathetic. I think that's something that's lost in the world today, is being empathetic and caring for people.
Yeah, right.
So do you agree with those? Do you have any other characteristics that you think?
No, you lead by example. That's how it goes.
And I hate complaining about Michigan State. Being a Michigan fan, but that's why I don't like Izzo, and I don't think Izzo. I will never think Izzo's a good coach.
No, not even.
Not even. I can't, Because I think he lacks integrity and he lacks empathy. He's a little, I shouldn't say it, a whining troll. Did you hear his latest complaint?
No.
I think I think he has to retire soon.
Yeah.
I think
he's getting old.
Now, X's and O's, he's a good coach. X's and O's, he's a good coach. He knows basketball. But talking about nepotism, his son was on the team last year. Now his son wasn't great, but he got to play. He got some exposure. He got that free education because of who his daddy was.
Right.
And we have so many. I mean, look at Pistons just got Hardaway Jr. But Hardaway Jr. I think has earned some of it.
100, yeah.
But I think if you look at all these professional sports teams, majority, maybe, and Trevor might have to fact check this for next podcast. Majority of the players have been not necessarily because they're bad players, because they're good players, but they've been able to be highlighted because of who their dads are or who their moms are. I think you look at, and I think it even goes into WWE. The whole bloodline, because of who their dad, you got a chance because of who you knew, because who you related to. And I just think, going back to Izzo is now, he needs to retire because he is complaining so much about this NIL deal. He's mad that
he's old school.
And he is old school. He is mad that the players are making more money than he is because of the NIL and the whole transfer portal, which has totally.
He needs to take a page out of Deion Sanders and Saban's.
Talk about nepotism now too. Deion Sanders,
right? Yeah,
kids.
mention that too, right?
So I think let's end it on this. Let's end the episode on the NIL, because that is changing the sports world.
Yeah, you don't know who your next team is going to be.
You don't know who your next team is. I have mixed feelings. Now, I was a college athlete, Division III, so there was no money involved at all. Wasn't that great of an athlete. But I did get some things that other students did not get, even at a D3 school. Now, I say that, but it's not it. I got my laundry done, and you were only supposed to put in, your clothes that you wore for practice. Well, being a cheap college student, I would throw extra clothes because it was the bag. You zipped up this bag, or you pinned it shut, so you throw the bag into the thing. They didn't look to see what was. It wasn't a great wash because it was. They just took the bag, throw the bag in to the washer, throw the bag into the dryer, and it came back to you. But it was less money for me to put some extra clothes. And as a wrestler, you never know how much clothes somebody wears because we're always trying to cut weight anyways.
Right.
So we would throw extra clothes in there. I would get the trips, for when we would go on to different meets. We would get the trips and the hotel stays. We would get even Trevor gets a voucher for food.
Yeah.
So we would get vouchers for how much money we could get food that other students didn't get. I had access to our athletic training department at any time I needed them, which other students didn't get to have. So I get where NIL is a bad thing because, you're already getting a free education in some sorts, or you're getting free. I mean, Trevor, how many pairs of shoes have you received this past year?
Probably 3 or 4, and I received 2 of them in like a month in between.
And then how many shirts?
Oh, so many shirts, like maybe 9. I get like 3 or 4 beginning of camp, another 2 or 3 once the season starts, and then if we make it to a bowl game, another 2 or 3.
Which isn't a bad thing, but athletes get something more than the average.
Oh, yeah, even the football players. Like, yeah, we get stuff. That's more like what they have in abundance. The players get so many more things.
I mean, look, LeBron gave Ohio State's free shoes or free PlayStations or something.
LeBron did?
Yeah, for Ohio State for one of the bowl games or something like that. But at the
It
same
makes me hate LeBron even more.
But at the same time, there are, especially at the D1 level, the players aren't allowed to work like we were. I had a job on campus. I had a paycheck coming in. They're not allowed to do some of that stuff. So I remember my dad played D1 football. He had a full ride scholarship. He also didn't have enough money to eat dinners at times because he wasn't allowed to necessarily work. He actually got in trouble. I probably shouldn't say it, but him and his buddy was running a soda pop business out of their dorm room. They would buy it from whatever store for like a nickel, and then they would sell it for a dime.
I've met that guy, haven't I?
I think you have had a few drinks with that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes. Okay.
So I think the NIL. I think the players deserve the NIL. Do they deserve as much money as they're getting?
I think it should be capped.
Maybe
it's
that's
getting out of hand.
Maybe there is something on
100%.
I'm more worried about the transfer portal than I am the NIL. Give the players money. That's fine. The transfer portal is what makes me upset.
Right.
That
you don't know which team you're going to have. You don't know which quarterback you're going to have. You don't know which shooting guard you're going to have.
Especially when the coach's job, you could be fired because of one bad year.
Yeah, all falls on that.
You know, some of these coaches are getting fired before the year's even up. If you're losing enough, too many players, you're fired. You know, and I have to give Youngstown State a little basketball program a little credit because I was at a basketball camp there. Well, Aiden was, and part of the camp was a recruiting session. It was an elite camp where they invited people to come. Talk about a long drive for that camp, but
right.
But he was talking about how they have so many players, like say 13 players that are on their roster. He says every year they look at which players are graduating, which players are transferring in the transfer portal, and that will be how many scholarships they're allowed to offer the next year. Which kind of is respectful because he's being respectful of his player. He's not saying, well, here's money one year. I'm not taking you next year because I could get this big transfer portal teams in. So he's doing it a little bit different where he's not looking necessarily to bring as many people in. He wants his team that he recruits each year, he wants them to stay. If there is an opening, he then looks at what freshmen I have coming in. Are there any other transfers coming in? But he's not necessarily looking for more transfers than spots open. So this has been an amazing night, Ryan. I know this is a little bit different for you, Trevor, as the voice behind the screen as we're talking about sports. This could be probably another 3 episodes. I could talk about sports forever.
Right.
It's like education. I could talk about education forever. Maybe that's another time we should talk about more of our schooling. We talked about our high school.
That'll only be about 15 minutes for me, but yes.
We talked about high school. We could talk about consumers math a little bit.
That helped, yes.
And graphing calculators and the importance that every friend has a graphing calculator.
That was it.
But as we leave tonight, Ryan, what's your prediction for Michigan football, basketball, Detroit sports? What's the good word that's going to happen in 2024?
So out of all of them?
Yeah, who has the best chance of being successful this year?
Shit. I would have to say the Lions.
The Lions. They blew it last year.
So you know what? We're gonna continue next episode. We're gonna talk about the Lions.
We didn't even get the Lions yet.
I know we didn't even get the Lions. So yes, they did blow it. Yes, and it's
I'm
arguable
a
whether
Dan
it's
Campbell fan.
oh 100%. But
Dan Campbell.
so that's the thing. It could be arguable. Was it Dan's fault on the call, or was it the receiver who didn't catch? Boom.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So
They're the best. They're the most chance.
So they have the best chance. I kind of agree with that. I would love to see Michigan football. I don't think they're going to win a national championship.
We have such a
I don't think-
buzzsaw. We're running through a buzzsaw.
We have the worst
next
schedule.
season.
The worst schedule at the worst time. With
And then how does Ohio State have a cupcake
Yeah,
schedule?
They always do. I want to see. I would love to see them at least win the Big Ten.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's possible.
Oregon's coming in, man. That's
Well,
what
you got Washington, you got Texas, you got.
for Texas first game.
Michigan's schedule is so rough.
It's a buzzsaw, my friend.
I can see us losing no games. I can see us losing 2 games. I can see us losing 4 games.
I can see us losing 6.
I can see us losing 6 games.
6
games too. Sherman Moore has it in this year. If he can live through this season and be successful.
Well, even if he's not, I still don't think it's make or break.
No, I don't think it's make or break, but I think his legacy, if he can come out of this year with a 2-loss season, make the playoffs, because there's 12 teams now, so he's 2 losses.
That's great,
which
right?
is a great. That's the only.
And here's the thing. The conference that we're playing in is probably going to have, if it's a 12-team thing, we're going to have about at least 5 teams in that playoff.
See, I was thinking maybe 3. 2. I think we're going to get 3 for sure.
I think only 3? Maybe 4 then.
Because SEC is going to want at least 4 teams.
Right, yeah.
You know that. And then you got whatever conference champions. To me, the playoffs.
Right, okay, I didn't think it.
To me, the playoffs should always been all the conference champions, no matter what conference you're in. You're very D1 football, your conference champion, and then maybe 2 wild cards. But
I would have put it, yeah.
But I think that, conferences are changing.
College football could be a whole other episode, man.
Yeah, conferences with these really the SEC and the Big Ten, and then everybody else with these new power conferences. And I'm not sure I'm a fan of it.
Well, have we achieved the super conference that Joe Pa wanted?
No, I don't think so yet. I think there's still more coming.
Right.
I think Big Ten has another 3-4 teams coming in the next year or 2.
That's bad.
I think it's going to come down to 3 or 4 conferences completely, and everybody else is going to be independent.
Absorbed.
Everybody, you're going to be either absorbed or you're going to be independent.
Right.
And I don't know if that's good, but that's enough for today, man. Ryan, it's always a pleasure. If you're not subscribed to Chatting Chronicles, make sure you subscribe to it. Make sure you interact. We interact with everybody that makes comments. We even have a poll out there from last time. Do you wash your feet? So we want to know what you guys think. Do you wash your feet in the shower every time? We want to know any topics that you do want to. We're talking about stuff we like. We're talking about stuff
that we can touch on anything
we want. If you want us to go into the political world, which we will. We have some comments. We have some comments on that. Ryan and I have been best friends, as we mentioned last time, since kindergarten. We've known each other potentially since preschool.
Right.
Watch last week if you don't know what that's about. Trevor is our expert behind the screen, coming up with a great fact checks and doing some editing and
tidbits
so
of
forth.
Information.
We appreciate you guys. We appreciate everybody watching, everybody that's been commenting. We're happy to be here. We're happy to finally be able to. This is what Ryan and I do every day when we get together. Be able to put it out there for you. Have a great one. Last words.
Be kind to each other.
And we are out.